Hello, I'm the Gravedigger. Let's see who's in our story today. Have you heard of Fagin and his boys on the streets of London? They were real. Victorian England had great inventions and great wealth for some, but many lived in poverty. Parents made choices. Children were used to make money and even abandoned to save money. Those children lived on their wits, on the street, in packs, to protect themselves. It was dangerous, especially for the girls. Miss Maria Rye saw a way to help these children. She found a place for them in Canada. With backing, she purchased the old courthouse here in Niagara, and from 1869 to 1913, our Western home, as she called it, received nearly 4,000 girls from 2 to 21 years old. They learned to sew, cook, launder, housekeep, garden, and when they were ready, they were given jobs locally. And sometimes that worked out. And sometimes, well, it didn't. Maria Rye left the running of the home to Miss Emily Bailey. She was strict, but she was mostly kind. And who else did the girls have? Let's hear from one of them.
My friend Mary thought Miss Bailey was wonderful. She'd say, "Edith, Miss Bailey looked after us like we were her own children. And if it wasn't for Miss Bailey, none of us would have survived." Whatever survived meant. Please don't think I'm not grateful for Miss Bailey. I am. And for Miss Rye, Miss Maria Rye. Our Western home was the only home that we had ever had. Otherwise, it would have been back to the workhouse in London for me. I suppose she did saved us, and sold us. Oh, I know, I'm not supposed to say things like that. Mary always got annoyed with me. "Edith," she said, "nobody sold me." So I told her, well, all right then. You've been saved, and so you can go and be a well-behaved servant on a local farm. And I was right, because that's what she did. She didn't last very long. She came back, she was sent out again, she came back again. But Miss Emily always looked after her. Every time she came back. It's just, the last time, there wasn't much Miss Bailey could do. Mary was only 16, scarlet fever. She's buried just there beside me. We never really saw Miss Rye. I think she must have made a killing on us. We were worth something after all. Young, strong, trained to be good girls. We did what we were told. According to Miss Emily, Miss Rye thought that I'd be particularly good as a domestic or as a companion for someone old. Why someone old? She said I would be performing Christ-like services. That's exactly what she said. And then, after, you know how she ended up describing my Christ-like services? As gross wickedness and immoral. And I was cast off for lack of virtue. That's what they said. So of course, I ended up back here. Bit late by then. But Miss Emily almost seemed happy to see me. Although I did hear the word shameless quite a bit. You know, the place wouldn't have run without Miss Emily Bailey. She was getting old though. She told me they were trying to get rid of her for years. There were rules for everything. When we ate, how we ate, when we slept, where we slept, who fed the chickens, who looked after the gardens, how we walked, when we walked, who we walked with. And we were told exactly how to ignore the townspeople when they made comments about us or crossed the street to avoid us. Well, we were English immigrants. And we did the work that Canadian girls didn't want to do, but they thought we were shifty, lazy. They still wanted us, though. When they took us, they had to agree to look after us until we were 21. That was Maria Rye's intentions, anyway. And when it worked, well, it worked well. When it didn't, well, there's me. But I didn't get pregnant all on my own, did I? I think Miss Maria Rye turned her eye at some not-so-good situations. But Miss Emily always said, with all sorts of pride, that they had placed more than 5,000 girls. And out of all of them, maybe a dozen didn't work out. That's what she said. And if some died, well, that's life. It was certainly my life, all 17 years of it.